Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if that works. Do a thing, internet. Alright. Alright. Gotta cut my head. It's okay. And that's alright. We'll be headless.
So there's a second camera. I wonder if you can do a two-angle stream.
I could do that.
Because there's that one that we could also angle in a different way.
Let's steal this. We're setting up, so people might actually start watching it. Oh, this is all like bundled in it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's zip tied underneath.
Oh, never mind then, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do it. Let's steal it. Anything for a good, story, right? So where is this actually plugged in?
You should be plugged into the Chrome box right there.
Yeah, there's just like a whole mess of USB cables in here. So which one is the thing here? No, yeah, okay. Okay, so that is this one. Go. Pull this through. Come on, baby. We have to unzip tie this. I am gonna bail, but I don't think we'll have to. Yes. Okay, one more time. Once more into the breach. Ah, there we go. Okay. So now we've got that. Is this actually working? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, there we go. Alright, don't need that. I got this. And then, let's see. That's right. Hello, Key Lime. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to add another camera. New camera. Ooh, it's a different camera. It's a C930. Oh, it's very much clearer. That's nice. Alright, so we got that, and we can add this here. This is going to be us.
Nice, so you'll be able to see both the parts and
yeah,
us.
And us. There we go. Don't do what I did and forget the standoff brackets. You will end up shelling out $800 in replacements, is the advice I have so far. Hello, Jackosaurus. No, so this is why I have Alex with me. Alex helped me pick out all the parts of my computer, and so that's why you see all these nice little things on the table. And I was going to do it myself, and I was afraid that Alex, once I took a picture of it, would see the cabling, because I know how I cable and I know how other people cable, and he would be like sneak into my house in the middle of the night and recable my computer.
No,
so
we're gonna do this right. We're gonna do this right. No. We don't need that yet.
But I want that. It's
you
big.
will, but we first need to put together the motherboard.
But that's big.
It is big.
Don't you do big things first?
No. Normally the way I put the machines together is we'll do the motherboard with the RAM, and then we'll go and actually get the case. We'll put the rear backplate in, then we'll put the motherboard in.
Okay.
Or whatever, we'll do the CPU and heatsink, and then we'll put all of that in, because you really don't want to be installing the heatsink when it's already in the case. You will be sad these days, because sometimes they have retention plates.
Okay, so I start this?
Yeah, we're starting with that.
We're going to start with the motherboard. Anyway, Jack Keylime. Hello, Edgar! It's my first build since like 1999. I did put a computer into a drawer once. I just picked up some parts from a garbage heap and turned it into a computer in a drawer. So there was that, but that's pretty much all I've done for the past many years. Okay.
So I'm gonna say we can use this to draw to store some boxes, because we're gonna put some of the stuff back in here after we're done with it.
Okay. I've been a nerd for a long time. That is true. That I can agree with. All right, I'm gonna put this over here so I can see people. Hello, the Arakas. Edgar agrees with you on how to do it, by the way. All right, so I take this out now?
Yeah. I normally put the motherboard back on top of the anti-static sheet, just because, who knows how clean it is. In fact, this one seems to have 3D printing pieces all over it.
Hello, Wolf Gamer HD and Kevman. Kevman is another regular to the stream who's been considering building a computer for a while. So he's watching with bated breath as I put this together to figure out all the things he's going to screw up. And he said he would actually do this.
Yeah.
Just to keep it off the stuff. I take this apart?
Yep.
Alright. So now I have a fancy looking motherboard. And so now I gotta do things with it. Right?
Yeah. So the normal thing that we'll do first.
Okay.
Which probably means you probably want to open the CPU and you probably want the scissors.
Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, am I wearing an anti-static band? I'm not wearing an anti-static band. Do you believe in anti-static bands? You do this a lot.
I do believe in anti-static bands, but I've never run into a situation where I've needed it while building a regular commodity computer.
Okay.
Like, the only time I usually will do an anti-static band is if I'm literally soldering something which is ESD sensitive.
Okay, so you use anti-static bands, but not for computer building. So a trick
that you can use if you don't have an anti-static band is go find the nearest light switch, like back here, and touch one of the screws. If you feel a shock, it means you had static electricity. If you don't, it means you're grounded and you're fine anyway.
Yes.
Also, the floor we have here seems to be like concrete or something, so we're probably not building up charge.
That is true. Yeah, so we are currently assembling this in the Google makerspace. So yeah, this is the YouTube/Google office in Cambridge. So we have a makerspace in the background, although you guys can't really see it. It's a little bit behind us here. There's a giant Tomark mill that you guys will see in the background there. So this is our danger room for makerspace, but that's okay because we're not going to do anything dangerous today. Okay, so now I have a CPU with lots of little pins on the bottom.
Right. So these cases are a little bit annoying because what you have to do is you have to open them up, and inside there's going to be another piece of plastic, which actually contains the CPU.
Yeah.
So the way that this CPU is going to be mounted is
install processor first, then remove and keep the cover.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. They used to put notches on these, like on the sides, and there they are.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's probably we're not going to be able to see that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's going to go there.
Okay. You just failed to follow the instructions. That processor is $350. It was $310 when I bought it at my local Micro Center. In addition, I got $30 off for buying it with the motherboard. So there's a list of parts in the description below that you guys can check out. And I bought them all from my local Micro Center. So you said there's notches of that way.
Go ahead and close the lid. So the way it works is like this. I'm gonna push it down and then.
All right, so we got that down.
All right, so let's go ahead and put some of these parts away. I like to keep a clean workspace, otherwise it's going to be a mess of boxes when we're getting to the end.
Yeah, we don't want to be putting together things in a mess of boxes. That's how I usually do it, but yeah.
Well, we're doing it live on camera. We want people to be able to see what we're doing, too.
Hey, Cody Simmons. How's it going? I don't know what you're flucking about, but welcome to the stream. Hello, Kathleen Nagayan. I am the Chris who plays games, and tonight we're putting together a computer. So it's not quite a gaming stream so much, but yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
It will be. This was for gaming. So people keep asking me, like, what GPU do you have? And I keep pointing out, like, I play NES games. What I really need is a CPU that can encode H.264 at something that isn't, snail speed. So approaching non-snail speed is what we're looking for.
At the same time, this is basically a no compromises build.
That is true. So Alex helped me pick out all the parts for this, and so although I don't have the GPU yet, the plan is to get one of the NVIDIA 10X X series once the prices are no longer ridiculous all the time. So that is why we're starting out here, and we will move on. Hello, Kiana. How's it going? How's it going? So just so you guys can see so far, this is the fancy motherboard that we're working on putting together. So that's what you guys see right here. We got the dual camera stream going, just like I did during my puzzle stream. So welcome everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Non-snail speed. All right. So now we have to make it not be hot. Is that the story?
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting. Next, Carter, fold over some paper, and I'm going to show you a secret technique I learned for applying thermal compound.
Okay. I did check, and this box does come with some thermal compound at the top, which you, of course, knew, but I didn't. And other people were asking me, like, did you buy thermal compound? And I'm like, it's going to come with it, right? Oh, my gosh. That is a freaking beast. Like, I don't know if you... Like, just to be clear, like, this is the cooling situation we're talking about. People are like, why didn't you get liquid cooling? And I'm like, well, because I have some giant, massive fins and pipes and fans, like, so...
This is one of my go-to coolers. It's the Cooler Master EVO-212. It's been used on builds ever since the Intel Haswell processors. It's not the quietest, and it's not the most thermally efficient, but it is cheap and good.
Yeah.
So and fast. It's the triangle. It's really weird.
Yeah. So this was $30 after rebate. Is clearly a highly regarded machine in the community. So do I need this? standoff
Right.
plate?
So that's the back plate I was talking about. That's going to make you sad if we had done the case first.
Okay. So do I do what you've got? Oh, we got a whole bunch of little things here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the instructions out.
Okay.
So the one sort of downside with this fan is this mounting bracket, which is not terribly fun. So what this thing is going to end up doing is it's going to come out to approximately here, and it's going to hold down the heatsink from a notch right here into your
post.
And in order for it to actually screw in, because this is normally intended to be a snap-in system,
yeah,
we have to install the backplane.
Okay. Backplane has what we have all these little nuts and bolts for.
Which is why we have these nuts and bolts for, including this nice one to tighten things. Fortunately, although I've continuously used this same heatsink, they keep making small modifications to the way it works. The original version required like independent bolts and was like a complete and utter pain. Then they went to one that was notch based, and it was really hard to get aligned and to stay because the little plastic expanders would like to pop out of the back of the board. And then they went and did this backplane. So even though it's the same model Cooler Master that I've been using for the last couple of years, they keep changing it around.
Got it.
Which is why every time I look at it, it's like, wait a minute, what do the instructions say this time?
Yeah. Oops, that didn't work.
All right. So I'm going to disagree with some of the things that they have on here.
Yeah, so the before putting into the case, we're doing all this because otherwise getting this giant machine of fan cooling this in can be a little bit difficult depending on the specifically I think you were mentioning this backplane would be my trouble, right?
Right.
So since I need to install this around the CPU, trying to do that while it's in the case would be annoying.
Right. So they recommend that we remove the fan from the heatsink. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, and this just clips on, so
yeah,
I can
it just clips on.
Yeah. Take this giant fan off. Okay.
So the next thing they say is to go ahead and put the thermal compound on the CPU. I disagree with that. I think that's completely and utterly wrong.
Well, doesn't it dry quickly, or is that not the case anymore?
It dries pretty quickly, when quickly is on the order of hours.
Oh, okay. So not minutes.
Not minutes. This paste is a lot thicker than the stuff that you probably used back in the day.
Yeah.
First of all, this stuff's gray. The stuff you probably remember is either white or pink.
Yeah, that's fair.
The white stuff was the really, really, really fast drying stuff that was basically glue. The pink stuff, which was a lot less common, were these like weird pads that you like literally just stuck on and then smashed it down.
So I had actually done both of those, and I remember doing both of those, but I do remember the like, okay, apply the thermal compound, now put everything on real quick before it dries or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's better.
The pink ones were actually pretty cool because like basically a lot of electrical engineers swore by them because apparently they were a lot better than the fast drying stuff exactly for that reason.
Got it.
The other thing we're going to do is we're going to observe that for...
It does look like this fan will clip on either side of this. It is symmetrical, so I assume that...
It is symmetrical. So it's actually kind of interesting. These instructions only mention the socket 1150 and 1155 and 1156 and not 1151, so I'm pretty sure it will work if we put it at the center positions.
Awesome.
Because I just used this fan on this motherboard.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And this is just kind of surprising.
That they include all these instructions, but not for the specific model that we actually...
No, I think it just means that, like, he bought a version of the fan before they updated the instructions.
Oh, right, because you just did the same thing. It didn't have that problem, so...
No, I actually don't remember looking at the instructions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've readjusted the center pin.
Hey, Chronicast, how's it going? There is no LED colored strip going in this computer. I specifically bought a computer that did not have a window to look into, although it does have some fan holes that you could look in. I don't think that this is the goal here is not to be pretty looking. Okay.
Remember if it goes this way or this. Both are close.
Yeah. LED strips. There's a lot of I'm pretty sure. Someone was saying that LED strips are pleb mode. What GPU am I looking to get? I'm getting to either a 1060 or a 1070 is my plan. I'm waiting to see what the price performance trade-off is on those. The 1060 looks really impressive for the price, but it depends a lot on what the partner cards actually end up being. Okay, so that's
based on how it goes into the back plane, it's going to go like this.
Yeah.
So
take that in.
So what we're going to do here is we're also going to prepare screws. Go onto the back.
Let me grab another. Do something that's standing here. Yeah, all kinds of cool screwdrivers. Of course, as with all screwdrivers, you only have the ones that you because all the other ones get, taken out and left out. Yes, my 3D printers. Well, my 3D printer stream lasted about 6 hours the first night while I was drinking and putting it together, and it was about 4 hours the next night, next time, and then 2 hours to finish it up. So it was about a 10 to 12 hour build. Yeah, so the RX 480 is basically the equivalent, the Radeon equivalent of the 1060, and that's why they've actually accelerated the release of the 1060. Having competition is actually amazing for dropping prices, so I'll be interested to see what that actually looks like. You think you found something you're happy with or not?
So I'm trying to see what it's supposed to be. So this
these,
so
right?
looks like I think it's these that go on this side of the motherboard.
Okay, and then something that goes underneath.
And these are the smaller ones. Trying to make sure it's not these that we want. Like I'm pretty sure we want the nuts to go on the other end.
Oh, okay. There's two different.
Yeah, so these are gonna go through.
Yeah, and then.
And I'm pretty sure that we're gonna screw it into these. I'm just trying to make sure it's not these smaller ones, not ones. A little hard to tell.
Yeah. So what? So well, let's look to the other side because that's gonna have
sure.
the other. Yeah. So these are the rounded ones.
Yeah. So for AMD, it says to use the round.
Which
ones.
we're not.
And we're intentionally not gonna use them. So I'm gonna hold this. Chris.
Yeah,
you pick up the motherboard. I'm going to hold this, and you're going to screw these four in. Stand it up like vertically in.
And I'm still confused.
Okay. What's going to happen is
you're going to put this in, and I'm going to screw through and make it and line up the nuts.
And we're going to tighten it.
Oh, this goes on the back. I missed that.
I did say backplane a couple times.
You did. Okay, so this goes through this side.
Yes.
And I want to just do. Is this okay? I push through, and you're gonna line those things on.
Yeah. First one. All right, let's go ahead and do this one over. How will we die?
All the way. I can pull.
Just screw through those a little bit.
Like that. Oh, there we go. Grinding. Oh, there we go. Now it's good.
I moved it a little bit. About like a 1 millimeter. Move up the back plane.
Okay, next one. Top left. Or top right, rather.
Again.
I think it's. Sorry. This is not. We can make it flat.
It'll flat now. These motherboards can take a lot more stress than you can. One of the first builds I ever did, we nearly snapped the motherboard in half. It was deflecting like 40 degrees. Trying to get the heatsink fan on. It was AMD K7. For anyone that remembers those motherboards.
Okay, so these are not tight.
Correct, which is why we have the tightening tool.
Aha! Tools are incredible. It turns out that you can use them to do useful things.
So what you should be able to do is we should be able to
hold that and just want to use the.
Yeah, but I want to do it by hand. First, I'm a little bit nervous about going straight to the tools because you can't really tell if you're torquing it down or whether or not you're slipping a thread.
Hello, Dibs and everybody else. We about to break his shit. I'm always afraid of breaking the motherboard. Yeah. So we are.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. But it's like the whole plate is deflected. It's not just that screw.
Doesn't look too bad. It'll probably settle in if we.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a screwdriver. Hope that it actually.
I have multiples here. If that doesn't.
Yeah,
fit.
this one's nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with that corner.
Yeah. Definitely, like having two people for this job is definitely nice. This particular part in particular, as particular 3 or 4 times.
Tighten that one pretty nicely. Yeah, that's why I like fingertips. You actually close.
Yeah. Except for that last one that we were a lot of luck with. Okay.
So I think at that point we have our standoffs. I think that's good.
Okay.
Double check. Good, that looks good. Is our heatsink going to fit onto these? That looks good to me.
Yeah.
Those are all gonna go.
You think that's gonna... Okay.
Yeah, no, I took it off. I had all of them in.
Alright, cool.
Cool.
I am building my computer at the office, Miss Danny. We are currently in the makerspace at the Google/YouTube office here in Cambridge. Alex is a coworker of mine who helps me fix the internet often and helps me buy a computer occasionally. So we work a lot closely together. So whenever I say, like, yes, the internet is broken and I told the right people, Alex is usually the person I told who helps me find the right people to yell at more directly. So
every now and then I just fix it myself.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Did you hear my story at lunch today?
Yeah.
I was like, someone complained on Reddit and I went and they said, I said post in the Reddit thread and the sticky thread, and they did, but they said, but I really want someone who can fix my problem. So I went and I fixed the problem, and then I replied and they said, you don't understand, I'm the guy who fixes things.
Alright, so we need to take a quick detour because we need to try to find an index card.
Okay.
I can try looking in one of the office cabinets if you think they're going to be more likely.
I'm trying to think if we have. I mean, we have. You want something stiff.
I want something stiff and preferably paper that we will throw away afterwards. I do not want to use your Windows install disk packaging because you're probably going to want that.
Well, we could use the edge. Oh, you said you're gonna throw it away afterwards.
Yes. Okay. Throw it away.
Oh, because you're gonna do
We're gonna spread the thermal compound with it.
So how thick?
Thin.
Thin.
I've usually taken printer paper and folded it over if I can.
Yeah.
Index card would be ideal.
I think that's what. I don't remember there being any cards either. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Alex decided that he can go look for that thing. Yeah, so we have a makerspace here in the Cambridge office with a bunch of stuff. And yeah. And we're gone. Sorry, yeah, no, we're good, we're good. And then watch as the computer's not going. Oh, hush. I step away for 12 seconds. Yeah, so Alex is off going to do things, so I will entertain you for a little bit. Here, I can dab. I can do, like, I've got room. Hello, Philly. Anyway, yeah, so we've got, the parts list of the computer is all in the description below. You guys can probably see it. But I got a 750 watt power supply. I got a beautiful, Core 7, i7, CPU. I've got this giant ass cooler. That's got like copper plating and tubing and everything else like that. Take care, Best Jose Game, and have a great night. Take care. Sorry, I've been a little bit distracting. So who's helping me? The guy who's helping me is Alex. Alex works with me on YouTube stuff here in the Cambridge office, and so he's helping me out. He helped me pick out the parts and everything else like that. Thanks a lot, Best Jose Gaming, or just Jose. Undertake the build solo. No, I don't want to. He's getting the cooler pasty stuff. He's gonna help me out here. I don't trust myself. You know, I don't want to end up with a pile of useless computer parts like Jack did. That would be a bad idea. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. I realize this is not my normal streaming night, but hopefully you guys can appreciate the whole setup we got going on here. Yeah, I really do wish that I could find something that would meet sitting in the space. We have all this stuff, but we have nothing that is like compelling. There's actually a 3D printer going on in the next room, and so on. Poor Jack. I should draw a happy face. Okay. I will take that into the appropriate amount of account, Jack. Edgar. I think that's approximately none from what you said, but yeah. Anyway, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a terrible day. It was a rough day for me. I spent a bunch of time doing stuff, so being angry at things, which kind of sucks, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Wow, is my delay like really? Oh, all right. Well, so it goes. Yeah, so we got the 500 gigabyte hard drive. We got the 750 watt power supply. 32 gig of RAM, which is a little bit overkill. But if you're gonna build a computer for like a 4-year plan, you really kind of can go overkill, and that's a little bit okay. So that's what we're doing here. We got a nice Asus 7170 AR. As I said in the description, all the links are down there. No, I don't. I said 8:15 to 8:30 to her. I told her not 8 o'clock. So, but we should be done around 8:15, I think. But you can watch, and I'll. Yeah. So no is the answer to that question, Jess. Overkill or go home? Well, so this is my question on the 1060 versus 1070. The 1070 is obvious overkill, but it's another $150-$200 depending on how these prices land, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly where that's going to end up in my total, build cost. So, I looking at the cards, it depends on where they actually end up for cost and things like that. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I found a whole bunch of Post-it notes, so I ended up scavenging a piece of printer paper.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, people were saying they're really interested in your classic, your exciting technique here.
So the traditional thing that people say to do is to just put down a blob of thermal paste and then smash it down at the heatsink. This works. Like, I've done it a lot. It works pretty well. The pressure of installing the heatsink will give you a pretty good amount of spread. But it turns out you can do better. The ideal thing for thermal compound is to get a smooth, consistent amount on basically the whole surface. So, what you do is you spread it with an edge of paper. So, index card, business card works pretty well.
Okay. Oh, well, business card I could have done.
Oh, you had your business cards.
Not that. That would be a bad thing. Yeah. How about I just hand you my card? But yeah, so we could have used a.
Should we actually use a Chris Plays Games?
We should use a Chris Plays Games business card. I didn't even think about it. I carry them in my wallet.
See, this is great. Like, this is nice and thick. We have a nice edge. This will be fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have to do that. Well, anyway, if you don't have a business card or you don't have an index card, you can fold over a piece of paper half like 4 or 5 times, and it'll work just great. So what we're going to do now is, where'd the fan go?
The fan is right here. Do you mean the cooler?
Sorry, yeah, the actual heat. What we're going to do is we're actually going to apply the thermal compound to the bottom of the heatsink.
Okay.
And we're going to cover the entire
surface. Yeah, the square that you have there.
So on this heatsink, the copper heat pipes are the thing that does most of the work and takes away.
All the heat.
People see this?
Yeah. So yes.
So the copper heat pipes are the thing that takes away most of the heat, but we will go ahead and cover the all the way out to the edges to get the entire square of. From here, here, and back.
Yeah.
So, do you do the honors of applying the thermal compound to the heatsink?
Yeah. You want to have me destroy this poorly?
No. I just want you to put some down so that I can then spread it.
Yeah.
Don't use the whole tube. About half in the center. Cool. So, we're going to take it and we're going to just slowly spread it over. And we're going to try to get it all the way out to the edges. and try to not get it everywhere while we're at it. If we do this well, we'll get a pretty smooth covering.
Should you reapply the thermal paste after a few years of use?
If you get a good bond, you should not need to reapply the thermal paste because it should not be evaporating. If you get a bad bond, then absolutely.
So just do it right the first time and then you don't have a problem.
Right. So we have a pretty nice covering there.
Yep.
Pretty smooth. There's a little lines there, but it's not going to matter because the rest of that's going to get away. I'm going to throw this away because I don't think we're going to need it anymore.
Set it there for now.
Yeah, we can set it here for now. So what we're going to do now is that we are going to prepare to put this down. So this is going to go through here. And that's going to expand out.
Oops,
Careful to not
run it into the thermal compound and get it all over myself or anything else. That screw in?
No, I think
there's a little...
There's a notch here, and I'm wondering about... What we should be able to do now is place this down. Screw it in.
Pop that on the sides. Oh, these just push to get into their slots?
I think this one moved out of the center.
Oops, sorry. That one. That one over here. It's not.
I'm telling you, one is.
We lost our side notch here. Do we need to be there?
As long as it's in the center.
I don't know if I'm doing this wrong or just. Buy your CPG business cards today to apply your thermal paste. So then just screw them in evenly.
Yeah.
So how tightly do you screw this down?
It kind of stops wanting to screw in.
Oh, okay, I see. So these are threaded only at the very bottom then, or oh right, there's only a small pit for them to go into.
Yeah.
Threads
so
are long,
seem to
but
be getting pretty close to done.
Yeah, these are. Yeah. More half turn.
You want to tighten these and make sure they're all good.
Whoop. Spinning motherboard. That's actually, I'm not going to do LEDs, I'm just actually going to have it rotating like a disco ball all the time. Okay, so we've got a little bit of extra thermal paste on the side here, that doesn't matter. You don't want to scrape that off, like on the cooler, like right here, I'm seeing it, right? Or not the... And just buy a gallon of thermal paste and dip the whole business inside, let it soak for a day.
Oh, we have paper towels.
We could also use the business card, right?
Well,
Or is I can get another one, too.
I don't want to waste another one.
That's fine, they're like a dime. Lose subs whenever I stream, so now I have my sub count on stream, so hopefully not too many people unsubscribe. If you guys are watching and, like what you're seeing, you can always subscribe, but you guys all know me and are subscribed anyway. It broke. I don't know what you mean by it broke, Falcon Man. Yeah.
Be a little bit of it left on there, but it's totally harmless. Okay, so at this point, we could put in the RAM now, or we can put in the RAM later. I would suggest putting in the RAM later.
Later? Okay. So what comes next?
So now we put this aside and we get the case out.
Okay. Now we put this aside and get the case out. Okay. Motherboard with fancy thing. Just so you guys know, again, this thing is gigantic. And so this is the motherboard, and this is the cooling, so it's a big block of heat reducing device. All right.
Yeah, which is good. Thermal mass is a good way to get heat away.
Yeah, I can understand that. I just didn't. I underestimated the size of it when I saw it online. Like I know you kind of said, no, that's a big thermal mass, and I just didn't realize. Oh.
Yeah, well that works.
Yeah, it's all fine. It's all good. Ugh. Okay, we got a big case. There we go. And okay, so one of these sides is the front.
Well, yes, the one that's up is the front.
And the one that's up is the front. Oh yeah, look at that.
Alright, so let's see what we have here. We have an instruction manual, which we're going to totally ignore because you don't need it. We have the case. It has USB 3s in the front, headphones, microphone, power button, reset button. Top is open for two 120mm fans. Also looks like it could be used for water cooling. Popped out some of it. It does not have them popped out by default. We have thumb screws on the back.
Yeah.
We do. Thumb screws on both sides. Let's take both sides off.
They unscrew all the way.
Yep.
That was.
They do not pop out. This is not an industrial system.
All right.
So let me see if I can find a little. Put it back. Here's what we're gonna do.
A little container right here.
On the blue container, we're gonna put all the screws that we take out into this blue container. That way, we are not gonna lose them. Let's go ahead and.
So they slide. Yes.
All right, so
we got lots of cables in here.
Yeah, so a lot of these are going to be the front plate.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and set this down and take a look at what we have in here.
We have a fan.
So,
2 fans.
We also have hiding in here all of the other screws.
Huh?
So let's see, let's untie.
This would pimp my PC. There'd be a random popcorn maker in there somewhere. I think that's not what I want in my PC.
Alright, so let's review what cables we have here. So these are pretty long, so we're going to want to route these around the back when we get around to it. We have a USB 3 header. This one's pretty nice and easy. We have high definition audio, also nice and easy. And we have the nightmare of every PC assembler, the LEDs, and the power switch.
Okay.
So if this is a nice motherboard, which I think it is, it actually comes with a header that we attach those to, and then we insert the entire thing right into the motherboard.
Rather than 6 separate pins, we just plug them all into that and slide it in.
These things make your life a lot better. Please buy a motherboard with one of these. So we're going to get to that. So,
and the power supply goes on the bottom.
Yeah, the power supply goes on the bottom, and it's in fact vented, so we'll be able to install it correctly. And the standoffs in this case already come pre-assembled for ATX.
Which is what we have.
Yes. Okay. So normally there's 9, but they seem to have made one of them be like a permanent post, so there's only 8 if I'm counting that correctly.
Oh, this is a post rather than a...
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yes. I count the same thing you count.
Alright, so what we are going to do in that case is we are going to drop the motherboard on in.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Before we drop the motherboard in, we need to put the back plate in.
Okay. So the back plate is where all my ports are going to pop out at the back.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is one of the less fun back plates that I have seen, because it does not have nice guides. So hopefully this is not going to be too painful. So it looks like they're not too bad. There's only 2 top levels, and then there's a couple midways. Hopefully this is going to go in easy. But, knowing our luck, it's probably going to be a little bit finicky at some point or another.
Is this just snapping in?
Yeah, they just snap in. This whole entire thing is just snap in.
Okay.
That's it. Alright. Why don't you go ahead and get the motherboard?
Motherboard, you are going to go in my computer. I think this is going to line up here-ish.
Yeah. So, one sort of annoying thing with this motherboard is that because it has the nice...
fancy cowling thing.
Yeah, it's a little hard to do this part of the assembly. What should happen is if we get these lined up, it should just go straight in, but it's currently being a little difficult.
There's cables in the way?
No, that one needs to come. So that's currently being a little difficult. What do you see? Because we're almost there.
I was going to say, I see everything seems pretty lined up. It's too far away in this top left corner.
Yeah. It feels like there's something that's not quite
there. So I feel like this is what's restricting us. So I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. Also still restricting. Lift up this one as well.
Oh, those are the pin. Okay, so you're seeing the little top pins that you need to snap in. Okay. Bottom left. By that, is that right? Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
it.
that looks right. I like how it's bowing. Still something a little off. I think it was this one. This one up.
Okay, so the goal is that you take all these little bent things and you line them up with the slots in the back plate.
Yeah. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get, because this amount of bowing seems to be...
That's just what the plate's got in it.
Yeah. Like I said, this is not my favorite backplate. A little disappointed in Asus for this. They have done better.
But when we screw it in, it's going to stay in place.
Yeah, it's going to stay in place. It's not going to go in. All the holes are lined up. This is in place. Like,
okay.
All is nice.
Apparently this has NVIDIA SLI on it.
Yeah, that tends to happen when NVIDIA started doing SLI. People started SLI support.
Okay, so, but does the motherboard have anything to do with that? Like when you're doing SLI,
yeah, so what used to happen is you needed to have a chipset that would support SLI, because part of the traffic would go on the PCIe lanes.
Oh, not between the cards
and
themselves?
Then there was also the header for the high bandwidth stuff.
Okay.
So if you didn't have a chipset that supported SLI, you couldn't do it. But then on the X58 or X48, I don't entirely remember which motherboard Intel first did it on, they got a license from NVIDIA to do SLI on one of their chipsets.
Got it.
So that is what opened the floodgates for being able to have motherboards that can do both SLI and Crossfire.
So just a picture. This is the back plate that we've got lined up here. This is the inside of the computer as it sits. So we've got the motherboard and the cooling that we just put together in there. Got lots of little zip ties.
We're gonna put them so we don't lose them.
Yeah. So we need some screws. Yeah.
So we have some screws. So what we have here is we have two other standoffs, which we're not using.
Yep.
We have long screws, which I have no idea what they're for.
Yeah.
We have some small screws, which are either motherboard screws or hard drive screws. It's hard to tell.
These look like, for these holes,
These look too large. These are definitely too large. I think it's these. Yeah, go ahead and see if those thread in.
Those have little rubber things that go around them. I don't know what that's for, but it might be not those, but the other bag. The big screws have little rubber.
So these look like fan screws to me. These
Okay.
look like self-threading fan screws. Not sure what the rubber piece is.
Oh, I have a switch I can flip. Do I want TPU 1 or 2? I don't know what a TPU is.
Well, we'll check the motherboard manual.
You and your manuals, I tell ya. Okay. So,
Hey, we're totally ignoring the case manual.
okay, so is this... Okay, so if I screw this in... Yeah, okay, so these are definitely the right screws. Alright, so we're going to screw this motherboard in. And once we screw it in, what comes next? What is next, oh great and powerful eyes?
Well, next we're going to have a couple different choices in order to do things. It's all going to be cabling. I would probably say we should go ahead and start doing all of the big power cables, because doing small things like fans is going to be a lot easier rather than starting with them. So doing the big things and getting them out of the way will be fun.
Okay.
So, like, you still have to reattach the fan to the heatsink. Not that that's particularly important. I've totally run one of these heatsinks without the fan. It still works.
Yeah, at some point it would probably become, suboptimal insofar as you would run hotter. I don't know, what is the actual, temperature at which CPUs do damage to themselves at this point, though?
So, modern Intel CPUs, it's basically impossible to actually burn them.
Okay.
They will thermally throttle at around 110C, and then they will shut themselves off at 120.
Okay, so they will protect themselves. What you will see instead is crappy performance, which is actually a problem you and I have debugged a number of times, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like the one time we had that one machine that was downclocking itself at 200 megahertz. It turns out you really can't serve YouTube with a 200 megahertz processor.
Yeah, that was exciting. I was like, why is this machine acting like, it's got a network card from, 1998? And the answer is because it also felt like it had a CPU from about 1998, and that matters, shockingly enough. Oh, this is a hard spot to be. Ah, no. Went upside. No, you went right side in. Okay. Ah, okay. Not lost. Not lost. All is well. It did not fall under the motherboard, which is what I was afraid of. Okay. You are in the right spot. Good job, sir. Oh yeah, so this one they didn't do it. They just did a post that goes through.
Yeah, I don't quite know why they did that. I don't think I've seen that before.
Okay. I'm gonna try not to strip all of these screws. Process of installing them. So this screwdriver is thankfully magnetic. Is that actually just like all screwdrivers are magnetic? I feel like that. I mean,
No, I definitely have some non-magnetic. You
Okay.
can certainly magnetize any screwdriver if you rub it against a magnetic pole.
magnetic, yeah. You can make any screwdriver magnetic.
It's like the awesome thing where sometimes like spoons and forks and knives will magnetize to each other.
Yeah, well, that's in part because of the rotation of stuff in the dishwasher, right?
Yeah,
feel
I believe
like-
so.
I feel like that's a case. I don't know.
Certainly you can do it just by hitting them together.
Got it. All right. So, sir, again, around tighten all these ones out here. I really want to. I think
I mean, we have a screwdriver right here.
that's good. All right, that's good. That one. This one. Looser.
I
the
mean, what
looser
should do
ones.
before we move on to the heatsink?
Install the RAM.
Yeah.
Before we do any cabling.
Yeah. It would be kind of silly if we get to the point of turning it on and it just goes beep and then turns itself off. And it'll be like, oh, we forgot the RAM.
Does it need RAM to get, to post?
Yeah,
I
it
guess
actually
that's what it
does.
does, right? Because
So
it checks the
let's
RAM.
see which slots we need. It might be either the blacks or it might be the grays. I do not know which ones are slot 0.
No numbers. Oh wait, I see dim A1. That's not helpful. I see B1, A1, A2.
It's probably, well, driver's seat. One of those in a while.
Not super helpful since I don't have a CD drive. Mendel.
Okay, so valid memory configurations.
Yeah, so we are currently building a PC. Thanks for stopping by, Leaf, and good to see you, Lady Kitty Unicorn. I would be unhappy doing this myself. I'm actually very happy I decided to do it with Alex, which was not originally the plan, but beyond just now I will come up with cabling that he won't throttle me for, thermally or otherwise. I'm happy to have someone who's done this a few times helping me out. I should download more RAM as soon as possible. I agree. I should download more RAM as soon as possible. I will do that right after the stream.
So this instruction manual is actually really unhelpful. It does not. So it suggests like you should do
if you have
the
one,
black slots.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not written anywhere, but
No,
the
it does have
diagram
the
does
picture.
suggest.
The picture shows it, right?
Right, so we'll do the black ones.
Okay, and these can't be inserted backwards. They've got slots.
Yeah, they're notched, so you can't get them. You do probably want to insert from this side to that side because of how.
Did I do that wrong then? Wasn't. Right. Okay, it's the notches in the middle. So. Oh.
This is a tight fit. It's a good fit, but it's a tight fit. The tolerances on that are not great.
Do you think still from this side and slide it across? And...
You might need to walk it a little. The tolerances are not.
Oh, okay, so it's just really.
Yeah. While we're at it,
Hold on.
there's no like plastic on.
I was like, oh, it's fitting really easily. Oh, it's not in the slot. All right, that is.
Right, and then just push it down.
Oh.
Is it going anywhere?
Got snapped in on both sides.
Very nice. Okay. How do we get the power supply?
We're doing the standoff, correct?
Oh, we can't. Oh, that's going to be awkward. Camera is sitting on the power supply.
Yeah,
box.
we'll have to.
Here.
We have
We'll use the fan box now that we're not using it anymore in order to reposition the camera.
There we go. All right. Cool. There we go. Okay, and we are still on screen. Anyway, no, not much of an instruction manual. I could have bought the PC case from IKEA. Yeah, then I would have little people who were like holding up parts with Swedish question marks over their head. I think that's how IKEA works. I have spent a lot of time putting together IKEA over the years. No experience that I've ever had putting together IKEA is great. Probably the worst experience I've ever had with IKEA was not putting together the furniture, but shortly after we finished putting it together and we had not actually secured it to the wall yet, we had a 4-year-old in the house with us who decided to go and try and climb the six drawer tall dresser, and of course pulled it over on herself. And luckily no one was hurt, but it was a scary moment. Wow, look at all these braided cable things. They look fancy.
Yeah. It turns out that the cable management systems that we have today are a lot better than we had in the 90s.
Yeah. So this thing is heavy, by the way. I think this weighs more than the entire case. Apparently 750 watt power supplies are heavy.
Right, and what sort of cables do come by default? So they gave us CPU cable, a PCIe power cable, and the main ATX cable. So these are basically all the cables we're going to use. That's part of the CPU power.
Okay.
It goes out on the other end. So the two of these together fit into that one 8-pin slot.
I got it. So why don't they put them together?
Normally do.
Oh, okay. Maybe because you can sometimes
looks like this
use
power supply is a little less fancy than some of the ones I worked with lately.
Okay. All right. So this doesn't have a thing on the bottom. This actually feels like it.
Yeah, but I think it's fine to leave it.
Okay.
It looks like it's branding.
So the bottom of this is going to go.
So now what's important for us to look at is to actually pick up the case and make it face us towards the back so we can house them out. So looks like we have our choice of orientation.
Well, I think we want to. This is a fan at the bottom, and there's venting on the bottom, right?
Yeah, and that's probably the way I would mount it. So why don't we go ahead and slide this in and make sure that it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Gotta get hooked. That looks good.
I got little holes for all my little screws. I don't know if I have little screws.
So I think the screws that we're gonna want to use.
Oh, they come with the case.
Probably came with the case, and I think you have the other bag.
I have.
Could be these.
Yeah, I have 4 leftovers from my set of screws, but nothing else.
Let's try these to see if they fit.
Okay.
But yeah, there also are probably screws in there if you look hard.
Modular PSUs are amazing. Look in here.
Yeah.
There's no screws in
screws?
here. I mean, this is part of the thing where I didn't buy the PSU you told me to buy, so you know, I get different things. I have a weird. Oh wait, no, I was wrong. There are silver screws in here.
Let's try and use those just because they are more likely to be compatible.
Okay.
Although
So I've only got 4 though, and this is like 8.
Then let's not use those.
Okay.
Well, let's
And
try
these are also the wrong size. There's, I think.
That is what I would expect them to normally be.
Okay.
Let's see if these black ones work. Seem to be going in very nicely. So we're going to use the screws that come with the case. Because it's also going to look better.
Hello, Jose. You can't do time conversion from East Coast to West Coast, man. You gotta work on that. I that is a time conversion I have to do all the time. So everything in Google is Google Standard Time, aka whatever time it is on the West Coast, which means I do a lot of conversion between Eastern Time and West Coast time.
Yeah, it turns out adding and subtracting 3 is, I think, the most math we do in a day.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I do that mathematical operation more than anything else. That is for certain. Apparently, I have SPDIF out. I've never used SPDIF for anything.
Oh, I totally have. It's fantastic. I have an amp hooked up to my computer back home. Well, I did, until I moved here.
Yeah.
And I had surround sound working. Totally great to watch DVDs when you don't have a DVD player.
Uh-oh.
So that screw's going to be a little tough to get. Is slightly...
Oh, you think it's not?
Slightly biased.
Slightly angled. Gotta put the back into it, that's all. Yeah, so this PSU will definitely be doubling the weight of my case. West Coast is the best coast.
No, West Coast is the left coast.
I agree. I'm just repeating what someone else said. I don't actually stand by that statement at all. Why you be streaming on a Wednesday? I don't know if you noticed, Van, that we are streaming the building of a PC, which I don't do every day. So, given that, I decided that I would make this a special stream and do it that way.
All right, the main screws are in. We can now try to tighten them. Pretty sure this PSU is not going anywhere.
I mean, it wouldn't anyway, given it weighs like 12 pounds.
Well, it's an 80% efficiency PSU, so like it better weigh a lot because it's gonna have all those inductors.
Also, clearly, you can tell the screws that I touch because they're the ones that have strip marks on them, and all the ones that Alex touched don't have that problem.
All right, so
I don't know what an inductor is, but
inductor, it's just a large coil of wire.
Oh, okay. I actually guess I did know that. I just wasn't really thinking about it.
All right, so let's go ahead and show everyone our handiwork. Now have the PSU installed, and we now get to think about wire routing. So, this case is nice enough to come with wire routing holes.
Is that this thing? This is this part?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to move some of these wires out of the way so that we can actually
See what's left.
see what's left.
Yeah, so we got all these little LED wires which will run all together, and we don't really care about. We got this one is tied in with.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll move this later. All of these come out. So, it looks like they quite nicely gave us a large hole that we can put things out the back.
Okay.
We're going to be able to route things through here, up top through here.
Which is the way you like to do it.
Yes.
And everyone always calls you crazy, but you do it anyway. So we're going to run the power for the CPU all the way around.
Right. So why don't we go ahead and put this thing up? And why don't we go ahead and start getting
Yeah, I
this
spent
going.
$1,006 before tax and before $75 in rebates, which approximately cancel out the tax that I pay here in Massachusetts. Yeah, so the CPU cooler is the big metal thing that you can see right here. So this thing right here that sticks almost all the way out of the PC is a giant CPU cooler. So we did the CPU cooler first because, in particular, I think attaching the backplate to the motherboard would have been... here we've actually got a nice cutout for it, so it would have been possible.
This case is nice for that.
But this case is well designed for the particular thing we did. A less well designed case would not have that property, and we would have gotten to the end and said, okay, now we need to screw on something underneath the motherboard, and it wouldn't have been there. So, yeah. So in this case, I think we had to have the backplate. It's how the standoffs were hooked up. I guess we could have done straight to the nuts, but I think that wouldn't have worked. Yeah. So why is this here, though? Is this like...
So this is spreading the weight of the very large metal mass that is our heatsink.
Okay, so rather than
more of the motherboard,
rather than just bending the motherboard, which is what would happen if you screwed the screws directly into the nuts, you've got the backplate to kind of put it all together.
Yeah, so most motherboards come with some amount of backplate. This one has a small one. You can kind of see it underneath.
Yeah.
So probably wouldn't have been too bad, but no point in risking it.
Yeah.
All right.
So you want to run that through here? Yeah.
Go ahead and pull that out. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So now,
they're attached. Okay. So
yeah.
Two. Okay.
So they go side by side. You shouldn't be able to get this wrong.
So one of the things I found interesting about having a 3D printer is actually that they just use ATX power supplies for just about everything. So like, you use an ATX power supply and then you jump a couple of pins together so that the power supply actually starts when you don't have anything plugged into it, which is kind of a silly way to do it.
No, it's totally fine. It's just, that's actually how the motherboard turns on the power supply.
Yeah, but in that case, it has a wire hooked into it, not you've connected a jumper to connect two little pins on the ATX power
if you
supply.
really care, you can spend $5 and buy one of those things that mates into there and just bridges them properly.
Yeah, but that's not the way they tell you to do it. This is one of those things that convinced me 3D printers are not mainstream, is when my printer bot was like, okay, now, 1, pull out your soldering iron, and 2, once you're done with that, jumper these two pins together on your ATX power supply.
All right. So next thing, we're going to go there, so we're probably going to go through here.
Yeah. The other way?
Yeah, move that.
Again, I assume there's no way to set this up.
Correct. It is not.
Smart. Well, and they're smart decisions. Okay, so that is all the way in
Nice.
and well attached.
So at this point, we have done almost all of the power that we're going to do in this machine because we don't really have much left.
The PCI.
The PCI power is hiding back here.
Okay. Does that plug into something?
This will plug into your graphics card when you get it.
Oh, okay.
So you are going to use this one too, just not today.
Not today, yeah. So I do not have a graphics card with this build at the moment. We're just going to go with the one in the CPU, which is 12 times better than my current graphics card, which is going to be enough of an upgrade to last me for at least a week. Okay, so now what's next? We got memory, we got power. We need to wire all these things.
Why don't we go ahead and figure out how to install the SSD?
Okay.
It should be toolless on this case, if I had to guess.
Yep.
Because that's going to involve us getting out the SATA cable, so I suspect the SSD is just going to slide in right here.
Yeah, I've caught a bunch of Pokemon. Get a car? What's that? I don't need a car. Why? We have a car. Alicia's coming to get me in it.
You know, we have scissors still.
Yeah. I like to tear things. I know that's not the way it... Wow, drives are so weird.
They come with a larger driver's CD.
Look, the CD is bigger than the drive! Like, look at this thing! What is this? Ah!
Oh, so hold on. Let me go and make sure that there's no weird mounting brackets to attach onto the SSD. I kind of expected that there are.
Is there any... This is just the CD. Yeah, okay.
No, it will probably come with the case, which is why I'm opening the case, man.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was making sure there wasn't anything else extra in this
Yeah, you
file.
can throw that out. There's, like, no point to keep that CD.
Like, dude, why do you need a one-stop install navigator, manual, and software CD? I mean, realistically, in this case, if I have a computer that's running at this point, I don't have, not helpful. It's good. I was someone printing in the next room, and he had clearly failed a couple times, so he was like, if this print destroys itself, please feel free to stop the printer. So I have not seen the insides of a computer for a long time. I've never seen an SSD in person before. They're tiny and weird.
Okay, so apparently you just slide it in with the connectors facing out. Up here.
Slide it into this with the connectors facing.
That's upside down.
Well, you said out. You didn't say a particular direction.
Come on, there's totally a right way.
I mean, I believe you, but I didn't know what it was. Oh yeah, that just snapped.
Okay, so like no tools. That was easier than expected.
I have slots for like 4 of those.
Yeah, so if you decide that 512 gigs is not enough and you want to upgrade to a 2T, but you decide the 2T isn't enough, you can get 4 of them.
Yeah, that seems like it's a sensible plan.
Yeah, because we don't know anything that can use.
We're building. Keep in mind, we're building a 4-year computer. Like that's okay. So that's what she said.
Okay. So,
Well, I mean, for the most part, I live without a car. But what do we do next?
Okay, so let's get one power cable that we're going to use to hook that up, and we want. That's the old style.
Not those.
That's more graphics cards.
That's all I got.
Really?
Did I screw something up here?
Definitely not this one.
Oh, here we go. That? No?
No, this is all old style Molex.
Oh, here.
Oh, there we go.
I found them. Okay, sorry. All is well. Okay, so I take one of these new style Molex connectors, which has like 8 things on it. I guess they both do. Okay.
Alright, so what do we have here? So we have a 6-pin, so we're going to connect to the lowest 6-pin that we
see.
And it's going to just plug into the power supply right here. And then we're going to route this, I don't know, how about like this? We're going to go out.
Better out than in, that's what I always say.
And then we're going to just drop
Yeah.
So that's going to be quite nice. That's pretty acceptable. And if you ever want to do another SSD, you can do that.
Alex also builds computers regularly, as opposed to me, who has built a last computer in 1999-ish. So he helped me pick out the parts and is helping me run the cables, because if I ran these cables, you would look inside this thing and all the cables would just be hanging in midair, and I was afraid that Alex might reroute my cables in the middle of the night if I left it that way. So he's helping make sure I don't screw it up. But no, so Alex works on maintaining YouTube, making YouTube continue to run with me. So oftentimes when I talk about I need to go yell at somebody until YouTube works again, Alex is one of the people who helps me fix it, and if he can't, he helps me find the right person. So we will oftentimes walk around together, as we did this morning, until we found the right people to yell at until a problem went away.
So, say the cables these days and the motherboards come with an angle. which I'm not really sure I approve of, but that's not really a problem for us in the long term, or even the short term. But there are connectors that are stacked really close to each other right here, and this is where they recommend we plug in the OS drive, which is what this is going to be.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that we're going to use the angle connector on the SSD.
Okay. Because we've got all the room.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's going to be pretty nice there.
Okay.
We're going to do a similar thing for the routing, but we're not actually going to pass it through all the way back. We're just going to use that to sort of
Have the extra go behind the plate rather than in front of it.
Yeah. Tap in there. Not. So that's pretty nice. We're going to take care of actually zip tying these things all down later. Let's figure out what we're doing with this. This is the next one. I don't like that this is coming outside, so let's just...
What is that?
This is the USB header.
Oh, okay.
And that goes here. So I'm going to say that the right thing to do is to go around like this.
Yep.
Plug in. Pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing, we've got two more things here. We've got a whole pile of LEDs, which we'll wire together and plug in one big slot.
Yeah, so the other thing is we have this sound card. So let's get that untangled from all the LEDs. Figure out where that's going. Sound card header is a fan. Where all the LEDs are going to go. Looks like USB 2. That looks correct. I think it's that one.
Okay.
I'm going to double check the motherboard.
AAFP. What that says. And then there's the thing above it that says SPDIF out, so I think you have a plausible guess. Oh, and it's missing one pin, which is exactly...
yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing on this board that matches that pin. So again, these things are designed so you can't plug them in wrong, for the most part. If you find, like, there is not, as far as I can tell, a single other place on this board where you can plug in a pin, which is like that.
Front panel audio connector.
So we want to run this out the bottom.
Yeah, the same way as we did the...
So pull that through, and plug this in here. Correct orientation.
Once
that one doesn't really snap like the other ones do. It's less satisfying.
We can pull the cable out, and it'll look like this, and that'll be happy.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys can see the inside that we're building so far. So all the cables are run out the cable holes here. We've got stuff that's coming out here, but all of the cabling is going to be on the outside and not in the big open space where all of the air movement is. So we've got a big fan in front, a big fan in the back. And both of those are going to be moving air around in this big open space rather than having cables hanging in the middle like it would happen if I had done it myself.
Alright, so now we're going to do the same trick to these cables. Go ahead and route them out the back.
We want to just plug them all into the header while we've got them.
Nah, we can route it back here and then plug them into the header and it'll be fine. So,
what do you got?
We got a power switch.
Power switch. Power LED. Ground power. C?
Ground and power. It's this one.
Oh, okay. That is.
The switches, it doesn't matter what orientation you put them in. I'm just going to choose to have the label go out.
Okay. That's probably going to work.
Probably. Now we have HDD LED.
Is that still a thing?
Yes, I don't know where it is.
Right here.
Funny thing is that this cable is black and not labeled, so I don't actually know which one is plus and which one is minus.
Yeah, just go out.
We'll just go out.
I mean, LEDs, if you measure them, if you do them wrong, the only thing that happens is they don't light up, right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, so.
Anyway, right. That's done.
Cool.
We don't have a speaker.
And then this plugs into here, where it says panel.
Huh, there's power LED on both sides.
Yeah.
I wonder if I made the right choice. Oh. This is, however, slotted, and it's going this way.
That's right. Be as cool as Chris. They'll come. I don't know. Is there people watching? Yeah, I'm just gonna be late. I'm always late. There's no way to mess up most of these cables. So the power LED things, for the most part, are unique because they're actually all just jumper pins. So you can actually screw them up. But I don't think it matters that much because they're just lights.
Yeah,
you can't break your motherboard that way. You can do other things, but you know.
Well, you got to be a little bit careful. One of my close friends did a build with an i7 Extreme a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And for reasons that we still don't understand, turned it on and immediately let out all of the magic smoke.
Awesome.
He had his Intel CPU burned. He had his graphics card burned. His SSDs burned. Like everything was terrible.
Okay, so the CPU fan is going to go here. So which way would you fan this? That way?
So I'm going to put this down just so we can see it while we're doing that, because it's going to be a lot easier. CPU fan right there. So
would you do that side?
So we'll do it on that side, and we're probably going to want to take. So I would attach the fan.
Oh, I've got it.
It was a little too high.
I have too high, yeah. I was like, I don't know how low to put it, and then I found out that was the wrong answer. Whatever the answer is, it's not that. Okay, so this looks like it's this little thing here lined up. This is not touching the memory or anything else like that. It is snapped in on all those parts. And then here, plug it in the right way. Again, this is a case where you can't really do it wrong because it prevents you. Okay.
Yep. So now we have to deal with this wire.
Yeah.
So we used most of the length, but not quite. So I think that we're going to want to do it is
just run it alongside the fan.
Run it alongside the fan.
Mag's still off. Yes, we are building a computer.
I'm going to hold this down. And you're going to get some of the tape.
Okay.
And you're going to put some right here between. Nice.
Hello, 31 people. I'm the Chris who plays games. With me tonight is Alex, who's helping me build a computer so I don't make the magic smoke come out. Where do you want it?
Right here.
There we go. Yeah, I'm good.
Now that cable has a nice little twirl to it and is otherwise totally okay. Cool. That's out of the way. So while we're at it, we should probably take a look at where our other fan connectors are.
Fan connector here, TXT fan.
Which this fan is probably going to be the candidate for.
Yeah.
Should be another right here, which we can use for that. Was quite nice. So we can actually probably just connect that without even
taking off the. Maybe. I can just pull it. Okay. Alright, so we got a fan there.
So I'm pretty happy with that. With that, we're probably going to want to route that. So why don't we get this up again? Okay.
So you would go out and then through the same bottom gap we've been putting everything else in? That's not true, Jess. Actually, we got rid of most of the power books when we moved. We threw away about 7 years of old computers we hadn't turned on in a decade. That doesn't make sense, but something like that.
So we could also connect. I probably don't want to connect it to that. So this is a large connector.
Okay.
And there's a different kind of connector. So I don't want to use this one. Use this one.
Okay. Believe you. That one is the Cha-Fan 3. As opposed to X-Fan. So X-Fan is intended to be a different type of fan. Yeah. Ooh, we have I found another switch. I can choose between Easy or XMP. I don't know what those are, but I'm going to choose nothing.
That is the memory overclocking.
I like Easy.
Well...
You don't like Easy?
This is DDR4 2400, so you probably are going to need to flip this to XMP to get all of the performance, but it depends on what the profiles say.
I see. Okay. So now we have a bunch of things.
So at this point, we've plugged in everything,
all the
right?
Things. Yeah, we have no other things to plug.
Cool.
We have other things that we could plug. We have nothing to plug them into.
Okay, so I think at this point, I would normally get a monitor and see if it turns on.
Well, you don't need a monitor.
I want to see what the BIOS posts.
Well, that seems like a completely different story.
Well, how is this computer that we have back here plugged in? This looks like DisplayPort.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, but it's going to be through that giant zip tie full of terrible.
Yeah, da.
Get it through?
Nope, but I'm going to try.
We can also move it just really close to that and pull it the other direction.
Yeah, that's probably more reasonable. Nah, that's not going to fit. It's a little too short.
Other option, I could run to TechStop real quick and grab a HDMI cable.
Do we have a...
We have a...
Do we have a way to plug it into this TV?
Oh, well, I was thinking that maybe there's more ports right here.
Do you see any?
I will look. Yes.
Alright, maybe we should go ahead and get that cable.
Okay. And you're sure that if we go all the way through with this?
Yeah, it seemed to be a little too short if I...
No, I think... Actually, you know what? I bet... Oh, no, it is wrapped around other things. Okay, so if we go here, push all the way through... I think this is going to work. If we push this all the way through, and
so
then
the problem I had with that is I was trying to... It was getting, seemed to be getting stuck on the cable choke.
But this is...
Oh,
this is fine.
that's totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, now we just need to get the power cable out from the...
Yeah. Power cable is here, so we have another some place to plug things. Where's this plugged in? It's got to have power here somewhere. Oh, I just sat on a power cable. I'm smart. I got it. I found it. I found the source of power in the room. I sat on it. The way to find power, sit down. Okay. So we're
Plug in
gonna
the monitor before
plug
you do that.
this in here.
And turn it on. I guess this is the...
Oh, this is DisplayPort. Okay. It's not HDMI like I thought it was.
I don't know where the power button for that TV is.
Okay. So we'll plug my laptop back in since streaming likes to kill my laptop. One of the reasons why I'm building this whole goddamn thing in the first place. Alright. So... This...
I saw a red light flash, whatever you were doing.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe this will just turn on once it has a source.
Maybe. I'm kind of skeptical.
Okay, doesn't work.
Well, we didn't press the power button.
I turned the switch on.
Yeah, but we didn't press the power button.
There's a button that you push?
Yeah.
Oh, look! It lights up.
Well...
No?
It seems to be okay.
But yeah, we don't know how to make this TV do a TV thing. I guess one of the things we could do would be to plug this back into...
Oh,
there
hey.
you go.
That machine's alive. The machine's totally alive.
Yay! It even found my disc.
You wanna get the USB and connect it to the computer so we can actually press F1 and see what's going on?
I don't think that's gonna reach. Oh, I can pull this one through though, probably. I'm sorry, internet. I know I'm hiding. Oh, hi. You can see my face. No! My face is giant. Just realized you guys have been staring at my really close face the entire time and making jokes about it. Okay. Nice. Through here. You are a bigger USB than the C920. Oh, come on. You can't do it. Just if Alicia... I'll say it in a second.
She said asking if she could send Alicia over.
Just tell Alicia she can go. I'll walk home. I'll leave it here. I'll get it in the morning. Because we're not going to get Windows installed tonight anyway.
No. We still have cables that we need to finish routing.
Yeah.
Plus, we don't have a CD drive unless we want to scavenge one from some other computer.
Yeah, so... Jess, you should have Alicia go do whatever she wants. I'm going to leave the computer here tonight. I'll finish it up in the morning, and so she can do whatever she wants. And I will be home when I'm done. Okay. As always, Jess made fun of me because I underestimated my build. I said it would take an hour, and now it's been more than an hour, so she starts to get impatient.
Well, the hour was sort of an assumption without streaming. When there's streaming, there's showmanship involved.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I blame... It's all showmanship. That's the problem. The problem is I am too much of an attention whore, which Jess knows well, and so should not have been at all surprised by it. Wow, this... I don't even know where my cable went. Where are you? Stupid keyboard cable.
Well, what is this? This seems to be USB.
Yeah, but I can't get it far enough, I don't think.
Well,
Okay, there we go. There you go. Press F1.
F1 has been pressed.
I don't know what I'm seeing. Whoa.
All right. So
Wow.
mouse works, keyboard works. CPU fan is at 622 RPMs.
How'd the mouse work? I didn't plug. Oh, the
You
must
plug in
have
the hub.
the hubs. I got it.
All right. How do we put this thing into advanced mode? F7. All right. Let's see what we have here. CPU is fully recognized. All the RAM is recognized. RAM is running at 2.1 gigahertz, not the 2400 megahertz.
Gotta flip the switch from easy, probably.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, look at all these.
Overclocking. Auto. All probably what we want.
There's a Tweaker's Paradise option.
Okay, I gotta see what that is.
Tweaker's Paradise has.
Tweaker's Paradise lets you set all of the clock. Oh my gosh. You can set like the individual clock frequency, amplitude, slew rate, whatever you want to do, spread spectrum, voltage. Oh gosh. This motherboard is too much.
Didn't you just say you just used this motherboard or one very much
I haven't
like it?
actually seen the UEFI on it.
I see.
I have used the motherboard, but I haven't looked at it at any of these settings carefully.
Got it. So my computer is at 29 degrees C. Is that good?
Yeah, that's like a little bit warmer than room temperature.
Is my fan spinning?
Yeah, it's totally spinning. It was spinning at 622 RPM.
That's not very fast.
No, it is not. That fan can go up to 4,000 if I remember correctly.
It doesn't need to spin very fast, I guess, since it's at 29 degrees C.
So, yeah.
So I think it's good. That's what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, this all seems to be good. Everything's able, powers, So, you know, for something which is advanced, this is not really giving me any options that I want to tweak. Everything I'm seeing here is just already set to auto and already good.
Yeah, you stupid system. You give me all these options to tweak, and they're all at the right setting already. That's no fun.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Graphics cards running has version of the BIOS 1033, whatever that happens to me. I don't actually know. DMI, the connection between the CPU and the chipsets, also working nicely. PCI Express detects no graphics cards, obviously, because we haven't put one in. Chipset configuration. It exists. PCI Express speeds are going to be on auto. Storage configuration. SATA controllers are in AHCI mode. That is correct. Smart self-test is on.
I think we've established you're not going to change any of these.
Well, I still want to check, man.
Alex checks all the settings to make sure they're all exactly the defaults that you would want on a motherboard. After he gets to the 17th setting, he says, I need to check the other 70. Like, you thought I was bad, Jess. Actually, what I told Jess this morning is Alex is very much me from 10 years ago. I would have done the exact same thing. Now I am more well adapted.
So one thing which you might actually want to turn on is USB-C power battery charging support. I don't actually know if we're going to want that, because I don't know what that's going to change until we get Windows. I don't really matter. Another thing you might want to turn on, although I doubt it because we know we're not at work, is Pixie support.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And
actually, is there a way to
currently off? I mean, if
I was wondering if there was like a Windows install Pixie that we could use somewhere.
Probably,
but whether we could find it or not is a different story.
Oh no, we can definitely find it. Like all of our workstations here are updated through Pixie.
Yeah, but Windows is a different story.
It gives you a menu.
But for is Windows
and in the menu, ask you if you want Ubuntu or Windows or this other thing.
So I could install.
Maybe
that would probably make somebody upset. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. I mean, the drive is wow. It actually shows us the smart state. I've not seen an EFI that actually shows you the smart state.
It has 2 power cycles.
Yeah, probably one in the factory and one just now.
Yeah, I've turned my computer on once, and the hard drive was turned on one other time.
Thunderbolt is on. You have Thunderbolt on this machine.
Okay.
Did you know your Windows machine is a Mac?
Okay, yeah, that's fine, Jess. By the time I'm done here, it'll be too late to carry this home anyway. So I'll get it in the morning or later. No big deal. Thank you. I love you, Jess. I love you, Alicia. Thank you. It's dangerous to go alone. Anyway, yeah. So now we have a working computer.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, all of the settings are just correct.
It even has the right time.
Wait, does it?
Yeah. I mean, it's 3 minutes off.
That's
impressive. It's 1 day off, actually.
Yeah, it's also that's whatever.
Oh wait, I wonder if that's supposed to be no. Okay, it's 12 hours off is what it is, which probably means that it was set in like Malaysia.
That's fine. This is still a lot better than
actually
I was expecting.
No. 12 hours off from here is China. The motherboard was tested in China, and so they set the time in China, and that was right. But yeah,
it has like an overclocking wizard. Let's not. Anyway, I have convinced myself that this machine is working, and I think what this means is that we should turn it off and finish the cable routing.
Okay, so do I...
Just press and hold.
Oh, I just pressed.
Oh, that might be a setting that we might actually want to change.
Well, that's fine. Oh, I pressed and I pressed twice is what I think I...
Oh, we can just flip the switch back here.
I can also just hold it. I'm holding. Oh, no! Oh, no! Okay, we're good.
Right.
Okay, so now we can go back to... Alright, we can unplug these. There we go. Plug you. Okay, and now our goal is to get these cables to be not sad. So this is the... Oh, what? We have to go over here. This is the initial state of... Oh, I can't do that either. Here we go. The initial state of cabling that we're going to try and clean up. We're gonna fix all this and get it to look better. Pop some bottles. That's right. We're gonna have some champagne to celebrate our great success.
All right. So, cable that we are not going to route right now is this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave this one alone.
You're just gonna have it hanging back, you think?
All right. So normally what I do with these is I just put a twisty tie through here and just sort of leave it alone.
Through these little
that's where these little holes are.
So like one of these.
No, so we have it back in
Or
here.
the zip ties.
Yeah, so back in here we have these zip ties.
So you said twisty tie.
Sorry.
I didn't hear zip tie. Okay, so just run it through that.
Yeah, and
then,
just go ahead and twist just zip tie. Oh. And
super tight,
yeah,
so
pretty
that
tight.
it doesn't move.
Yeah. We'll cut that later. So that at this point, this cable is decent. We might want to do a second one down here, but we'll worry about that in a bit.
Okay.
Next up is we need to figure out what we're going to do. Touching. These go back here. These. We made a small mistake. We should unplug the chassis fan.
Okay.
And route it around this cable. Yeah. Right, so because what I want to do, I want to route this cable nowish, and then we'll do the others. I want one tie here.
Side of my case. One tie through. I need you to move your finger. Through here?
No, this one.
Oh, is there one up there? Sorry.
Yeah.
These stupid bent ends. They never bend the way I want them to. There we go. And this is again tight until it can't move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is the giant snaked braided cable of power cords.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. For the ATX supply.
Alright, so that's pretty.
There's currently no GPU, that is correct. So the GPU, I'm going to get, I'm not sure yet. It's either going to be a 1060 or 1070 depending on cost and performance. What I'm going with now is the Intel 530 graphics that came on the i7, which are 12 times better than the current GPU I've been using in my laptop. And given that most of what I play is NES games, that's not going to be a real problem. So do you want these here?
So that's
We can go
more or
through
less
here.
okay. So like, this is where
that's where this
the door
case
is going to
slides,
go.
so I can't use those.
Yeah, so we should only use those. So what I'm currently thinking is how best to handle the rest of these cables. So what I would have loved to have is a
Nice
tie
spot
right here, but there doesn't seem to be one on this one.
We could do it to this. Just attach them to each other.
We could. It's not awful. I'm however currently tempted instead to go for tape, because if we go and do the tape to the back,
They'll be flat.
it'll be flat.
The electrical tape gonna hold them flat?
Probably. So we'll do one of them at a time. So we'll start with this one and do a pretty good piece.
Yeah, so the 1060 comes out next week, and is the card that I'm currently thinking about, but it's going to depend a lot on what the actual price of partner cards with 6 gigabytes of GPU RAM are. If they're $250, that's one thing. If they're $320, that's entirely different. And so it's really going to depend a lot on what they actually end up at. That was not enough. Longer?
Okay. Yeah, like 3 times longer.
3 times longer. Probably not. But... Go and see. Nope. Maybe. Yeah.
It's not bad. So the next step is we're going to do this cable to it.
You're going to go over both of them?
Yeah, and maybe a little bit diagonally.
So like this.
But I don't know. That takes that. I'll get this one, and we'll do this one
the tape
up here by itself.
Yeah, the 1070s are very much the I will sell you my 1070 for. They actually just got better. We were looking just last week or just on yesterday, and they've come down a lot. For a while, they were only available for like 50% markup. You want it there? Okay.
So there we go. That's a lot nicer. So
themselves.
What I want to do. Hit down here in this.
So these definitely could have used a few more zip tie spots, right? Why
yeah,
would they not do
sure.
that?
This is.
It feels like that's like there's nothing there that would prevent them from doing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe they don't want you scraping the bottom of your motherboard by mistake, but they leave this giant gap here.
Another. Here.
The 1070, the 1080, and the 1060 are all claimed to be VR ready. So that's actually one of the major differences they were pushing.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, I knew that was. I need to make these pieces.
Yeah, this electrical tape is definitely the right answer in terms of should you be using it, but it is not that sticky.
This is one of the concerns. I know the electrical tape is never that sticky though, right? I feel like it's always.
Yeah, but it's definitely the safest thing to be using. Like I've used Scotch tape before, which isn't wrong, and we have some here in the office, but I felt better using the electrical tape.
Electrical tape is for, right? Tape and cables.
Yep. Why don't we actually try this again and then maybe do a second one?
Hello, Ernie. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. As you know, I'm the Chris who plays games. With me is Alex, helping me. I didn't do this long.
Do it up here, and then do another one. Probably just.
Just taping a big circle all the way around. Longer one. I really want. I always do that. Actually, always. No.
Do one more bottom for completeness.
This is one of the reasons why I'm terrible at wrapping presents. Is that I never judge right how much I need it. So I either end up with entirely too much or entirely too little. Nothing in between.
We have one of those up there.
Yeah.
See if I can.
I don't think it can. If we can run these further over. We could pull that tape further over. We can make them.
I do need to play. Got it.
Pliers.
Cool. So. Cable.
Well, where it goes, or the choice
The fact
of...
that we didn't really route it anywhere.
Well, what else will we do? We can. I mean, it's only one plug. We can do whatever we want with it.
Probably at this point.
Even without it, right? I unplug this and we can do whatever you want. Go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. It's correct. It's just that we should have. We need to put more tape here. Can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Long tape.
From
like
here to
across.
down.
Here?
Yeah. Maybe another piece of tape across the tape.
Multi-directional tape. Yeah, so what's the Thunderbolt port gonna get me? I don't have, like, Thunderbolt is not a thing that anyone uses, right?
I mean, other than Apple.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't even know what... Oh, wait, I forgot. I actually have a Thunderbolt capture card. The
So
question is whether... I don't know if it's been allowed to work on Windows. The Thunderbolt capture card was explicitly listed as, like, you know, targeted for Mac usage, so I don't know if the drivers actually... So I'll have to check that out, but...
So this cable, I'm gonna pass back through here because you're gonna need it for the...
At some point.
So there's no point in doing anything to it. So it's just gonna be here. So this leaves us with this.
That's the fan cable we need to...
Yeah.
The one.
I think the way we want to deal with the fan cable is probably like this. Yeah, you want to plug it in? Sorry, I've just got hurt myself with floor. The floor is kind of hard. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just bumped into my knee.
Wait.
3. It's supposed to go into the 4-pin one.
Okay.
The 4th pin is an optional sensor.
So
Okay.
what's the sensor tells speed, and I don't have a speed sensor?
Yeah, so the CPU fan has the sensor.
Okay.
So it's in the
There we go.
right here.
Did you pull them from a supply? Oh no, you found them by the 3D.
Yeah, that's there.
I think we can run the zip tie here and grab
That looks pretty
the spot.
This is the one cable you might do if you ever put. That's not. It's one. Cut that one.
Yeah, so Jose, I don't know if you were asking about the thing with the big buttons in the back, but this is our giant Tomark mill. It's like a $32,000 CNC or $20,000 CNC mill that we've got in the background here. So that is what we've got going on in the background. This is the Google/YouTube makerspace in the Cambridge office. So the room over there has sewing, electronics bench, multiple 3D printers and various other quadcopter builds and things like that. Zip tie or tape?
Tape.
And this room is the dangerous room, so it has the Tomark mill. We actually are in here because, one, that way if someone walked in, they wouldn't be recorded on the video by accident, and two, because this is where there was a nice open table for us to use. So this is where I actually built my second quadcopter, was in this space using our great soldering tools here. Yeah, so do we around or?
I was thinking like
There?
Yeah. This is sort of the nice thing about having black electrical tape. Yeah, and then another one.
Yeah, so there's pretty much every time I come in here, there's someone doing something. So someone's printing some kind of like 3D printed hinges. There's one guy who, I was here on a weekend at one point, and he and his daughter came in and were making Calvin and Hobbes things with the sewing equipment. People do You know, the I don't know if anyone's done anything with the CNC mill other than like a
Is
basic.
it up yet? I thought it was still getting set up.
For SAF, there's like 3 people who can use it, so it can actually cut like aluminum and metal and everything else like that. There's also we also have a what's the laser cutter? We have a laser cutter too, which I have not used, but was pretty cool as well. Exactly, Jack Mulligan. But yeah, so people do all kinds of cool stuff. They've done etching of like the plastic things for your desk or nameplates or other things like that. But a lot of people just come in and they use the materials to do kind of the 3D printer stuff that they would do at home, except here. So yes, Matus, I did see the Calvin and Hobbes turned into Donald Trump. It's quite terrifying / cute. Okay.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with this. What do you think?
It looks pretty good. Feels.
It'll be fine.
It'll get squished by the.
Yeah, we should turn it around and show everyone.
Yeah.
We spent all this time arranging cables.
Yeah, so now our cables are not just a hot mess like they were before. We got a nice flat cable system. We got tape holding everything down here. Nothing is loose. We've all got kind of pretty tight loops around here. So we got the CPU power that comes around. We've got the big motherboard ATX connector that comes down here. And all these cables are going to be out of the way and not dangling in the middle like they would be if I put it together. So now, good on Alex for being good guy Alex.
We have
sides.
We have sides that we have put back on. I think this one goes on this side.
Okay, and you think just leaving this?
Yeah, because you're going to use that.
Yeah, not for a little while. There we go. Fine. Actually, the only thing I wanted to look at, so this that's just one of the front plate bezels is kind of bent in, but I think that's just a design element. Need help or you got it? Not like I can do anything differently than you can.
Yeah, it's good. I was having a little trouble getting the bottom rail in, mostly because I just wasn't sure how this case went for it.
So one of the few parts that I bought, not exactly what... There's a few things that I did not exactly what Alex told me to. One of the things we figured out that the AR versus the A... What was it? Yeah, the AR versus the R or something like that version of the motherboard was like $50 difference in price, and the only difference was one had, was it DVI, which I have no need for. And then the other thing was I got a different case than he did because after deciding that I wanted this to build a computer, I realized that everything except the case he suggested was available for cheaper at Micro Center. Yeah, so is this a...
Yeah, that's a design element.
Okay. It's stupid.
Yeah. So we should do a quick double check to make sure that we didn't break anything doing the last cable routing by powering it on again one more time.
Turn it on, baby. Alright. Okay, so we got our display port. We've got our keyboard, USB hub. Go. Last thing is the power. Just one second. Get out of my way, computer. Put this on, and nothing happens. We push this button, something different happens. There's a red light inside.
Yeah, it turns off after it gets to the button.
Got it. So
what did we do last time to get this thing?
This button? Oh no, it just turned on when
Alright.
It has like a 10-15 second boot up cycle before it goes into BIOS is what it is.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
Does it work? That's a good question. We're not sure. Will it blend? Yes.
Yep,
it
it
does.
still works.
Yay! The CPU fan
is going the same speed as it was before.
I was looking at what is this? Oh, that's like I don't know what that is. Oh well, fanciness. I'll learn more things, I'm sure.
This is the graph saying what the speed of the CPU fan would be compared to the temperature of the CPU. So
okay.
we're
So
right
it's
now at minimal, and until it starts ramping up to like 30 degrees, so we're actually probably a little bit over here. So it'll do a linear ramp until it gets to like the danger zone of like 68 to 70 something, at which point it will just stay at 100%.
Yeah. All right. So we did it. We did it. We did it.
Yeah, I would say this computer is built. It's not installed, but we can
solve that problem theoretically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think that's all we're gonna do here for tonight. So thank you guys for coming out and hanging out and so on and so forth. We'll go. We're gonna go with this camera. We're gonna go with this fancier camera. This camera over here is fancier, it turns out. So it's the 930E instead of the 920. I don't know if I like the lightest one. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out, for coming out. I know there's like 30 people watching. Here, we'll raid somebody just because like I need to raid somebody because we can't just end a stream without doing that. So thank you guys all very much for that. I will add some of the notes in and probably publish like a blog post or something like that with everything that Alex taught me. I'll take some pictures of the inside once I get it running. And so thank you guys very much for hanging out. And we're gonna raid Stingray Gaming. So Stingray Gaming is another friend of mine. He plays a lot of retro games and some other stuff like that. So hop in the chat, say #CPG raid. Have a great night, you guys, and thank you for watching us build a PC. And thank you for Alex for leading the way and making sure that I didn't do all the wrong things. So thanks for helping me pick the parts out and convincing me I should do this. And this Friday we'll play something that will take advantage of the new computer, like maybe a PlayStation game, something I couldn't have done before. So thank you guys, and I will see you on Friday 9:15 Eastern time. Go raid Stingray. Goodbye.